No longer have these big embassies north of the river to the south. Everybody knows that. Well, I think it's part of all that we do to try and put pressure on the government once in a while to do a decision that is relevant to the security of the British people. This is a decision, if they take this to give it, will be a decision that is to do with security and all about their new project Kowtow, which is to basically give China whatever they want. And that doesn't make sense. It won't improve their business. It makes us look weak, and the government itself gets weak. No, because they won't do it. They're interested in dumping all their product on us. You know, they're told all the battery companies and the car companies to manufacture cheap electric cars, often subsidized by the Chinese bank against the WTO rules. We know that China uses slave labor. They're practicing genocide. None of this seems to be important to the UK government at the moment. And it'd be quite wrong if you then give them everything they want. It's not fair. They want an embassy south of the river, just like the Americans have done. They weren't allowed up here. They went south of the river. And that's exactly what the Chinese government should be doing. Yeah, absolutely. We've got 200 British citizens that will be on Chinese territory. I mean, you know, what's that all about? The answer is we want to make sure that the right decision is made, and that is not the right decision to make that decision and keep the embassy here. It should be south of the river, just like that. Right. Nice to do. I think it's Dharma, and Dharma is desperate. They give China what they want. What gives you growth is your domestic trade. And the problem is, all of that is about, all of what they've done is about growth. So if you really want growth, they want to make sure growth, they've got to make sure that they get the domestic trade going. And because of the national insurance rises, the borrowing and the taxation, they're wrecking that. Reaching out to China and then dump all their cheap goods here in the UK, which they don't think would be an act of self-reliance. Granting this embassy is all about weakness. They know there is no rational reason why an embassy should be here. No embassy. America was made to build their super embassies south of the river. Their big super embassies south of the river. Because this place is overcrowded. We've got the cables outside here. These pavements, if you want demonstrations, aren't big enough. I mean, the police were right at first, saying no to it, and then they got bullied by the government. This should be to say, we've looked at it now, and honestly, there are too many reasons why not. So we're going to say, find a property south. I'm here, I'm sanctioned by the Chinese government. I'm here because I try and stand up for the rights of many of those Chinese that fled a dictatorial government that is guilty of genocide, huge levels of slave labor, all the sort of terrible things, and the takeover of Hong Kong where they've been arresting democracy campaigns, all of that. I'm here to, with many others in the UK, to stand up for the rights of people with free speech, the right to free assembly, and the right constantly to be heard. And that's what we're here for. As politicians, I'm not alone. I have 2 or 3 colleagues here. I think you can't see them at the moment, but I know that Robert Jenrick is here. There he is. There's Tom Tugendhat. And I think that Blair is here as well. I don't know where Blair is. Well, I was a slightly late arrival to this because I thought I was away. But I'm here now, so I dropped everything to come here. Okay? Labour's position can be summed up in one phrase. Project Kowtow, crawl on bended knee to China. That is not a solid and good policy, and it demeans us all. A nation that was many in a sense is the architect of fair law, freedom of speech, and human rights, suddenly wants to go on bended knee to a country right now that is governed by a government that practices slave labor, genocide, brutal interrogation, and the arrest of democracy campaigners, and, by the way, the attacks on Jimmy Lai. All of that is why the government, the UK government, is betraying us all.
So look, this is vital centre of UK economic policy, 100 years. And here it's swapping, or rather the government wants to swap for its purpose. It becomes a centre for communist economic policy. Now, I don't think that's the right thing to do. Now look, you can see Hong Kongers, people of Chinese origin, even Chinese citizens, are hugely welcome in the UK. This isn't about being Chinese, it's about the Chinese Communist Party. And it's about them setting up their principal office in Europe, here in London, and I think that's wrong.
Do you think it puts a threat to the national security?
Look, I think there are issues that have been raised. Forgive me, I can't go into the details, but there were issues that were raised and that still bear some very serious consideration, and that we haven't had properly answered yet.
And I mean, do you think that politicians at the minute are perhaps the people that are making these decisions? Do you think they're being naive in allowing this?
I think there's a huge amount of forgetfulness in the way that we're dealing with China today, as though you can go back to the golden era, the so-called golden era, rather, of 15, 20 years ago. What you actually need to do is you need to look at the last 12 years under Xi Jinping and recognise it's not the same as Hu Jintao, it's not the same as Jiang Zemin. This is Marxist nationalism and it's undermining the UK.
And I mean, do you think that this is putting human rights when they prioritising the economy? Do you think this is
Well, it's completely ignoring human rights. I think that's clearly what it's doing. And you can see by the number of Uyghur activists here, the number of Hong Kongers, the number of people who've had their own human rights violated by the Chinese state, you can see why it is that people are coming here. Because they recognise that the CCP is not talking about Chinese culture or
the benefits of integration with, cooperation, with China and Chinese people. It's about state power, and that's what it's about.
And why is it that you wanted to speak today?
Well,
Because of those reasons.
those reasons.
So was it, one of those situations that you kind of always knew that you would want to speak out?
Yes,
about this?
yes, and I've been speaking out about this now for a decade or more, and I'm going to continue because I think this is fundamentally important to the way that we run as a country and to how we secure our own freedom and the freedom of our friends and allies. This isn't about Hong Kong. It's not about others. It's about us. It's about the United Kingdom. It's about the repression that we're seeing by the Chinese Communist Party. Here in the UK, we've seen the assaults outside the Consulate General in Manchester. We've seen the police station set up secretly in Glasgow and Croydon. We've seen Hong Kong activists, pro-democracy activists, threatened in some cases silenced in different ways here in the UK. This isn't about what's happening abroad. It's about what's happening here in London now.
And what kind of message do you think this sends to the world about our government?
Well, I think it shows that our government hasn't learnt the lessons of the last decade, frankly, and it just hasn't been listening. The reality is, some people made decisions in 2010, 2013 that you can understand at the time. You can see the hopefulness and the optimism with which they approached it. To have that same optimism in 2025,
Yes.
it's not optimism anymore.
Yes, no.
That's just willful ignorance.
And do you think that is this kind of a start of a different era? We're talking a lot about this kind of different.
Well, it's not the start. I mean, the era started a few years ago when
Do you think it's kind of maybe a turning point that before it's kind of been, as you said, this kind of hopeful optimism? Is this perhaps a turning point we wouldn't see if it does go that way?
Well, I think it's a grave mistake, and I hope it doesn't, because it wouldn't just be a turning point. It would be a very clear statement that our government had chosen the wrong side, and not the side that was for the defence and protection of the British people and our economic future.
Do you think it will this project will affect the discussion of the UK-US trade deal, free trade deal?
That I don't know, but I don't think it'll go down very well in Washington. I've just come back from there.
Why don't you think it would go down well?
For a whole series of reasons. You don't need to be reading every US paper to see that the challenge of the Chinese Communist Party and its reception in Washington is very, very different today than it was 10 years ago. And so I think there'll be quite a lot of pressure.
Specifically around this embassy?
Well, I think this embassy demonstrates a level of cooperation. I'm not saying the embassy in itself, but the level of cooperation you're seeing is really changing. Vous voulez faire ça en français?
Sorry, business in London Bureau.
Oh, yes.
Could everybody move a little bit further over this way, please, to make space for those coming in? A bit further over this way, thank you. There's not enough space, as we know, but if you could spread out slightly, that would be great.
Yeah, very good to see you.
係。應該係。
I know we're alive, might be.
Could we speak to the police liaison officers, please? Could we speak to the police liaison officers?
Move on over.
Sorry. Can you see the police liaison?
Please, everybody, move a bit further over.
爆咗。我唔想攞呢度。
而家現場咧準備講嘢㗎啦，呢度我估係咧大部分其他啲人
三咯。
Hi everyone. Just because we have too many attendants here, I have to ask everybody to just move to the back for slightly so that there will be a bigger circle for all the cameras and all the press to be able to see what's happening. Can I please ask you to move in a bit orderly? 因為我哋太多人啦，所以想請大家褪後少少，俾翻多啲空間媒體同埋各位可以睇到前面發生咩事，得唔得？唔該晒大家。
Guys photograph, have a good long look at what's happening on that road. Yeah. Because they're all stuck on the island, some are trying to get across, cars
This super embassy should be shut down as well. This super embassy should be shut down. Well, stopped, yeah. Say hi to the Free China
Hi everybody,
YouTube
and
channel.
another favor to ask is to slightly move over to your left-hand side over there, because there's the only entrance into the protest area. So to facilitate more people coming in, please do move slightly to the left. Thank you very much.
How's the audio, guys? Can you hear this? Let me know in the chat if you can hear the audio. Let's film each other. Oh, there we go. Cool. And I feel like a bit of a hypocrite though, because I'm using a DJI gimbal, and that's a China company. I wonder if there's going to be any CCP supporters here today. Stand for freedom! Stand for freedom!
現場係越嚟越多人啦。
Yeah, we're gonna get a lot of fun today on this live stream, guys. Somebody said, what is a super embassy in the chat? Okay, well, a super embassy is an exceptionally large embassy. And as you can see, this site here is absolutely huge. Now, China already has an embassy here. And I think it's a shame because Taiwan CCP. Wait. Taiwan number one. Taiwan number one. Oh, okay. Can you come on in and just say Taiwan number one for us? Taiwan number one. Yeah. Okay. Are you guys from Hong Kong?
No. Live streaming. Can 啊嘛？
唔可以再拍攝。
我知，但我面係咪
You're very brave.
人係越嚟越多。而家就現場將啲人將佢再分散少少。
We're trying. So where in China are you guys from?
你係咪查一張夠㗎啦？你係咪查一張夠㗎啦？你係咪查咗啦？你可唔可以查一張？
查咩啊？我查一張 ，OK 啊
Oh, thank you guys.
I did just try again, and then I used to say that much. So how come you're back?
利有啲高。佢側邊有啲高，再影到。唉，近過少少咯，近過少少。
我驚個電視啲人
得。Excuse me, my squeeze here. Thank you. Is this better? Go back. No, 但係佢影張相。貼啦。Sorry again. You have to. Yeah, stand up.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be starting shortly. Hi, I'm Chen Ching Kwong. I'm the senior analyst at the Interparliamentary Alliance on China. I come from a family of 3 generations who have to flee CCP influence. First of all, my grandparents had to survive on groups of plants during the Cultural Revolution. And now, both my parents and I have to flee to escape the clutches of the CCP. I'm here to introduce the protest and introduce our members of parliament. Just some gentle reminders before we start. Please stay warm, please watch out for each other, and if you see anything suspicious or you're not feeling well, please signal our stewards who are in high vis right now. The aim for the protest is to prove that the Metropolitan Police previous opposition to the Chinese embassy plan due to inability to ensure safe protest was correct. And I think we successfully demonstrated that. We're also here to prove that the Royal Mint Court is not a suitable location for the Chinese embassy for security and geopolitical reasons. So before we go into speeches from our members of parliament, apologies in advance for pronouncing your constituencies wrong, because it's very confusing sometimes. But having listened to so many House of Commons debate where I have been trying to decipher UK politicians' pronunciation of Chinese name, I'll give myself a pass. So without further ado, we'll now invite the Right Honourable Robert Jenrick MP for Newark. He's the Shadow Secretary of State for Justice and Shadow Lord Chancellor and former Secretary of State for Housing, Communities and Local Government.
Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, friends, for coming here today in your thousands to prove this point and to send a very powerful message to Tower Hamlets Council to the planning inspector who will shortly be considering this application, and to the Secretary of State, Angela Rayner, to David Lammy, the Foreign Secretary, to Rachel Reeves, the Chancellor of the Exchequer, and to the Prime Minister, that we do not want this great historic building behind us, the Royal Mint, in this, one of the most historic locations in our capital city, in the shadow of the Tower of London and Tower Bridge and the Roman Wall of the City of London. We do not want this to become a mega embassy of the Chinese Communist Party. This is the wrong site, it is the wrong process, and it is wrong for the national security of our country. This is the wrong site. The brave residents who are here today do not deserve to live in a compound run and owned by the Chinese Communist Party. That is not the way we live in this country. This is the wrong process. This is a deeply flawed process. One of the worst processes I've ever seen in the planning system in this country. When was the last time you saw the Prime Minister of this country on camera bowing down before Xi Jinping and saying clearly that he would help, he would do everything to ensure that this building became the Chinese embassy? That is wrong. It has made a mockery of the legal process. And this is wrong for our national security. Don't take it from me. Take it from the police and our security services. Take it from Callum McCullum, who said himself that the #1 espionage threat to our country is China. Why then? Why, when you have China stealing our intellectual property, spying on members of our government, sanctioning members of parliament like the brave members of parliament behind me, and intimidating, harassing British citizens day in, day out, why would we allow them to have here the biggest mega embassy and spy headquarters in Europe? No self-respecting country would do that. So we have to stand against it. We have to stand against it. Above all, why would we offer the prestige? Why would we dignify China with this great historic building in this greatest and most historic of settings? No. So I am here today to stand with you and to say that we have a fight on our hands. We have to fight this tooth and nail. And I think that we can do it. So it may not be the most glamorous thing on a protest, but I need you when you leave this protest today to email the planning inspector and make your views known. Write to Angela Rayner, the Secretary of State, who will ultimately be making the decision. Write to the Prime Minister and say that we are the United Kingdom. We do not bow down to bullies, and we are not going to give this great building behind us to the Communist Party of China. No, it's the wrong site, the wrong process, and it's wrong for our national security. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So next we'll have Blair McDougall MP for East Renfrewshire. He's the chair of the APPG in Hong Kong.
Friends, we are involved in a global struggle between authoritarianism and those of us who believe in human rights and the dignity of the individual, between democrats and dictatorships. It's been taking place in the camps of Xinjiang, in the monasteries of Tibet. It's been taking place in the tower blocks of Hong Kong. But today we can see, here outside the Tower of London, it is here in the UK as well. The struggle is here. I am angry this week because this week has been a good week for the bad guys. I've spoken this week to human rights defenders from Tibet, to Democrats from Hong Kong, to dissidents from inside China who have had their support withdrawn by Elon Musk, a man who's made billions doing business with the Chinese Communist Party, who's repaying those people who made him rich by removing support from them. And it comes at a time where human rights defenders and Democrats all over the world are in retreat, and a time when we hear people who talk about themselves as realists, I call them defeatists, who say to us that a foreign policy based on values is something of the past, that now foreign policy is about commercial relationships, who say to us that it's naive to believe that human rights are universal, who say to us that China is now too powerful to be challenged. Are they right?
No! Hell no!
Hell no, absolutely. So, together, we are here today to say that that is not right. And whenever those voices of defeatism get into my head, whenever I feel doubtful, I think of Tangerai, Uyghur women, raped repeatedly in the concentration camps, sterilized, tortured, who escaped and spoke out. She would have wanted to forget the things that had happened to her, but she spoke out because she wanted to make sure that it didn't happen to others. I think of a young man called Sona, who I met in Dharamshala, Tibetan, who when he was 8 years old, climbed over the Himalayas because he wanted to live somewhere where he had the freedom to believe whatever he wanted to believe. And I think of Jimmy Lai, someone who knew he risked everything, but still went back to Hong Kong to speak up for the values that we believe in. So when those people say that we can't fight back, when people say that we can't stand up to China, we need to take courage from those people, courage from the thousands of Hong Kongers who have chosen exile over compromising on their values. And with that courage, we need to say to China, if you want to open an embassy here, you need to close the camps in Xinjiang. If you want this to be released from planning, unfreeze the billions of pounds you've stolen from Hong Kongers and their savings. And if you want this country to be open to you, you need to open the doors of Jimmy Lai's prison cell and release him today. We need to take courage from those people and show Beijing that we will stand up to them. We need to show them who we are and show them that we are willing to take a stand. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Now we're going to invite the Right Honourable Tom Surinhan MP for Tonbridge and West Malling, former Security Minister. Thank you.
My friends, we were told that this site was appropriate. All I can say to you now is look behind you. We've demonstrated very clearly the first thing today. And the first thing is that the planning inspectors, the police, all those responsible for choosing need to see what they're asking us to put here. The next question we need to ask ourselves is why? Why are you all here? Why am I here? Why are we here? Why are we so interested in what could go on behind us? Because we know that when the Chinese Communist Party puts up walls, what goes on inside them is never in Britain's interest. We know that when the Chinese Communist Party closes doors, the only thing they trap is freedom. And we know, because many of you have lived it. Many of you who are courageous Hong Kongers, courageous Tibetans and Uyghurs, who have explained your testimony 1,000 times, have been extremely clear that when the Chinese Communist Party brings its presence, fear comes close behind. Now we need to be very clear what we stand for, because we know that even today in the United Kingdom, around Europe and around the world, individuals are being threatened by the Chinese Communist Party here, at home. We know that courageous activists have been silenced, others have been followed, more have been intimidated for crimes like journalism, crimes like freedom of thought, crimes that should never be crimes anywhere in the world. And here in the United Kingdom, we say no. But we don't say no to everything. We say yes. We say yes to the Hong Kongers who've made their lives here, who understand what freedom means and what society means. We say yes. We say yes to the freedom of Uyghurs to practice their faith, to practice their culture in the way that they feel at home. This is the United Kingdom, a country of freedom. And we say yes to the Tibetans, who built monasteries, who've made homes, who've been part of our community and our society for many, many years. We say yes to them. And let's also be clear. We say yes to the courageous Chinese dissidents who fled from Beijing and Shanghai, who call out the truth in Wuhan, who studied in Ningbo and many, many other places. When you come here, you are safe here, you are free here, and we will not tolerate the CCP doing to you here what they try to do to you in China. Because let's be absolutely clear. This protest, it's not about bricks and mortar. This protest is not about our relationship to the Chinese people we're proud to call friends. This protest is about the CCP. It is about the spread of oppression and silence and fear. It is about the hatred that Xi Jinping and his Marxist nationalist ideology have spread in China, and we will not allow it to spread here in London. Thank you very much.
Last but not least, we have the Right Honourable Sir Ian Duncan-Smith MP for Chingford and Woodford Green, former leader of the Conservative Party, and also and IPAC co-chair. Ian, please.
I want to say, first of all, a thank you to all of you who have turned out from Scotland, the north of England, from London, all over the UK, to show that you are here because you stand for freedom. And that is the point today. You have fled China because it does not, under the communist government, believe in freedom. This embassy here that they want would be a demonstration of how the British government, sadly, has given in to a communist government who believes in totalitarian measures and doesn't believe in freedom. And by the way, those that might be making a noise at the back there, who stand with the Chinese Communist Party, you are not welcome here because we believe in freedom. What we don't need is an embassy here when 200 British citizens live on this site. What we don't need is an embassy here right next to the City of London and on the major arterial routes to all of our commercial enterprise here and near the Tower Bridge. If they want an embassy, a super embassy, like the Americans, they should go south of the river. Find something there while they're at it. We are dealing with a government, in case the British government has forgotten it, that believes in genocide, slave labor, has invaded the South China Seas, now wants to invade Taiwan, and is bullying all the countries around the South China Seas. This is not a reasonable government. This is a government that bullies, threatens, and takes what it wants regardless of what people want. Today we also stand with Jimmy Lai, who has stood with all of those in Hong Kong who have been arrested because they believe in democracy and free speech. So I'm going to end by saying simply this. We here today from Parliament are humbled by the bravery of so many of you who have fled your homes because you believe in the very things that we stand for here. Democracy, freedom, human rights, and the right to free speech. Long live freedom!
Thank you very much. Thank you. Right now, we're going to take a round of questions from the press. Sorry, because of the limitations of this setting, you might have to shout on top of your lungs to tell us what you want to ask. So if anyone has a question, please. Yeah.
Question.
Okay. But the truth is, this is a historic site, and any British government should celebrate it.
Look, for 500 years, maybe even 1,000 years, money has been minted either in the tower behind you or in the Royal Mint behind you, here, in front of you. These two sites have been at the absolute heart of the British economy for 1,000 years. And now we think it's appropriate to hand it over to the Chinese Communist Party? No.
One more thing, you have a word to say to the people of Taiwan, because I have a Taiwanese audience, so do you have anything you'd like to say to the people of Taiwan? Because a lot of Taiwanese people are watching right now.
Taiwan shows that democratic China is possible.
Yeah, Taiwan is on the front line of the struggle between dictatorship and democracy. And we've always got to stand with the Taiwanese people for the freedom that they are willing to fight for.
China fully has Chinese AVIC, China state-owned company, provided Myanmar military, weapons, and jet fighters to do airstrike every day to the civilian houses, to the IDP camps. Please help us. Also, I need help from you, all of you, please. And then say something to Burmese people.
For everything here, somebody won't have heard this, but here's a lady from Myanmar, Burma, and it is the Chinese Communist Party that is supplying this dreadful government that is now bombing and killing the citizens of Myanmar. She asked the question, do we here stand with the citizens of Myanmar and Burma against a tyrannical government? Yes! There's your message.
What about the residents who are going to have to put up with the Chinese embassy on here? We are two estates that we've got about 250 residents who live and will be living here when the Chinese, if they take over this site. Can you imagine what that's going to be like for us?
Christian for Voice of America. What more can be done at this stage now that it's in Angela Rayner's hands? Is it going to take a legal battle?
Well, the others will have a word about this, but I want to say one thing. The planning system exists because we believe in democratic protest. So the local council, none of the residents wanted this here. And the local council said no. Then it was appealed against. What did the local residents say? No. What did the council say again this morning? No. Now Angela Rayner has used the power to take it in case to review it. I think we have a very simple answer to Angela Rayner, and that is no!
Can I answer you would have heard a local resident here asking what it means for the local area. For me, this is a borough with one of the highest proportion of Muslim residents in the whole of the UK. What was it? 40%. 40%, the lady's saying. This is an embassy from a government which is systematically trying to destroy Muslim people in Xinjiang. It is demolishing mosques, it is bulldozing Muslim graveyards, it is forcing Uyghurs to eat pork, to drink alcohol, to eat during fast during Ramadan. It is a slap in the face of those Muslims to place this embassy in the heart of their community. Yeah.
We'll take around 2 more questions and then we'll have to stop there. Thank you.
I'm Jeff from Asia Times. I would like to know whether you can explain to the public, because a lot of people in UK want the UK get some money, Chinese investment, and it may sacrifice something, the freedom here and also this building, and how will it affect the UK relations with the Western countries?
So that question was about investment. Well, let's be quite clear. We want to cooperate and trade with everyone around the world. Of course we do. But that isn't cost-free. It doesn't come for nothing. And sometimes, when you're looking at the cotton out of Xinjiang, or you're looking out of the batteries and solar panels made by slaves, the question is, how much blood are you willing to have on your hands for cheap goods? We fought against slavery in this country 200 years ago when we rejected sugar grown by slaves in plantations. We stand against it again today. We need to be clear. We want to trade, we want to cooperate, but not at any price.
There's been a sentiment this embassy will become a spy base. Would you agree with that sentiment?
Yes.
Yeah.
The question was, this area might become a spy base if it's taken over and become a super embassy for the Chinese government. The answer is, not my view, but that of the security services who objected to this being the embassy for the Chinese government. They were very clear. They said no, and the government is ignoring that plea. So the answer is, this is no. What do you want? No. Thank you. That's your answer.
So thank you very much to our members of parliament speakers, and we will now go into a break, and then later we will have civil society's members speaking on the stage. Thank you very much. And before we do, can we please make some space for So if you can orderly keep a bit of distance with people around you, that would be great. Thank you.
Everybody, very important announcement for the people who are over there in the direction of the Tower of London. The police will start issuing arrests unless you move over towards this area, the area which is to the left of the embassy building as you look at it. The police will start moving to arrest people in that area. Please follow the stewards and move over. Thank you.
響對面馬路對住 Tower Bridge 嘅所有示威者，由於警方頭先已經話咧，要請你哋向左手邊，向你面對住大使館嘅左手邊移動。如果唔係，佢哋可能要作出拘捕，所以請你哋向左手邊移動。請大家跟從義工同埋蘇力嘅指示，慢慢向你嘅左手邊移動。希望大家注意翻自己嘅安全，同身邊嘅人保持翻安全嘅距離，慢慢向你嘅左手邊移動。唔該。
It's actually really good. The load of people are filling out over into the street, and the police are now getting them all because we're basically blocking the road. There's so many people. Oh, I wanted to. I wrote. Mate, that would be so good. I might have to AI that. Okay, well, I just said, yeah, well, do you want to forward it to Ellie? You asked me to send it. Okay, right.
Take down the CCP! Take down the CCP! No CCP embassy! No CCP embassy! China lies! China lies! China lies! Take down the CCP!
police kept when he left for a while, but he's not here, so do you remember his face?
Take down the CCP!
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 China lies!
People die!
China lies!
People die!
Take down the CCP!
Take down the CCP!
Take down the CCP!
Take down the CCP!
You remember him back at
Megano! Megano!
That's a lot, right?
Take down the CCP!
Take down the CCP!
Take down the CCP!
Take down the CCP!
No CCP embassy!
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 Okay, I think we can start earlier for the activist group. And now we would like to welcome our colleague from Stop Uyghur Genocide. Yeah. Woo!
Good afternoon, dear friends, and many thanks to the MPs who spoke so powerfully about this mega embassy, mega no. I believe that everyone should shout, mega embassy, mega no!
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 We stand here today in the heart of London to say no to the Chinese regime's plan to build its largest overseas embassy on British soil. This is not just about a building. It is about what it represents. The Chinese Communist Party is committing genocide against my people, the Uyghurs, and has no place establishing a vast headquarters of repression in our city. This is a regime that has turned my homeland, East Turkestan, into an open-air prison. A regime that uses the most sophisticated surveillance technology to control, round up, and criminalize an entire population. Millions of Uyghurs have been forcefully detained, families torn apart, and our culture systematically destroyed. Thank you.
Thank you, Rahima from Stop Uyghur Genocide. Okay? So the next speaker will be myself. I'm from Taiwan Democracy. 1. We are the people. 2. We won't be silent. 3. Resist the CCP now, 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 now. 1.
We are the people.
2.
We won't be silent.
3.
Resist the CCP now, now, now.
1.
We are the people.
2.
We won't be silent.
3.
Resist the CCP now, now, now.
Okay. We, Taiwan Democracy, are standing here to oppose the mega Chinese embassy. This not only has huge negative impacts on the community around the Royal Mint Court, but causes tremendous security harm to the diaspora groups in the UK. This project has been in progress for more than 4 years, and many of our comrades have put efforts on stopping the mega Chinese embassy. However, the UK government still aims to make an agreement on this, neglecting the huge opposition from the residents in local communities and the safety of the dissidents. It is disheartening that the UK government brings out a more pro-China attitude these days. Shame!
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 The government claims that the closer collaboration on business and trade with China can massively improve the economy in the UK. Distressing that the UK government still has huge misunderstandings on the Chinese Communist Party after many examples of the CCP breaking their promise in other countries. The close side between China and the UK might not bring in the profits as the UK wishes, but a subversion of the democratic system with more severe surveillance and transnational repression on people against the CCP. As Taiwan Democracy, we fight for the recognition of Taiwan as a nation around the world and reject the sabotage of freedom and democracy. We care about the human rights issues in this country and across the world. We speak up for the diaspora, migrants, and minorities. We must keep ourselves safe. Thus, one of the things we will need to do now is to stop the mega Chinese embassy and resist the CCP.
Yeah!
Woo! We are Taiwanese. Keep Taiwan free. We are Taiwanese. Keep Taiwan free.
We are Taiwanese.
Keep Taiwan free. We are Taiwanese. Keep Taiwan free. Okay. 咱是勇敢的台湾人，多谢大家。Thanks for listening. Thank you. Okay, and next one, we will invite our colleague from China Deviants.
Good afternoon, friends. I am Apple, and I stand here today as part of China Deviants, a London-based Chinese diaspora community dedicated to amplifying dissenting voices against China's authoritarian regime. I also stand here as Pei Qing, a resident of Toba Hamlet, one of many who will be directly impacted by this decision. We are gathered here because the UK government is on the verge of making a historic mistake. The approval of Chinese embassy at Royal Mint Court is not just about diplomacy. It is about what the UK chooses to stand for. By allowing this embassy to be built, the government is sending a clear message that China's human rights abuses can be tolerated, that they can be ignored, that they can be swept under the rug in the name of diplomacy and economic deals. We cannot allow this embassy to be built in our community, in our city, in this country, because we know what it means. It means more than just an office for diplomats. It means a nerve center for surveillance, intimidation, and transnational repression. We know what happens when Chinese embassy and consulates are given unchecked power. We have seen activists attacked outside Chinese consulate in
being monitored, harassed, and even coerced into silence. And if this embassy is built, it will become the largest Chinese diplomatic hub in the world, a clear threat to those of us who speak out against the regime. I ask you, how can we feel safe, knowing that an embassy of oppression sits in the heart of our city? The UK government knows about China's crime. They have condemned the genocide against Uyghurs, the crackdown in Hong Kong, the censorship of Chinese dissidents, the political prisoner locked away for speaking out, and the repression of Tibetans and Taiwanese people fighting for their rights. And yet, with this embassy, they're telling us that all this is just business as usual. Even Tower Hamlet Council had just taken a stand, making it clear that it had retained decision-making power. It would have rejected this embassy due to serious concern over the public safety and the risk posed by the large-scale protests like we have seen today. How can the government claim to stand for democracy and human rights while approving a project that will empower a regime that crushes posts? But we're here today to say, no, we will not be ignored. We will not be silenced. This is our home. We refuse to live in fear. We refuse to be watched, followed, or threatened. We refuse to let this government trade our rights and our safety for business deals and political conveniences. So today, we raise our voices, not just for ourselves, but for every Uyghurs, every Hong Kongers, every Tibetan, every Chinese dissident, every Taiwanese who have suffered under this regime. We demand that this government stand on the right side of history. We demand that Tower Hamlet remain a place of safety, not surveillance. We demand that China's human rights abuses are not rewarded with a palace in the heart of London. To the decision makers, listen carefully. This embassy will never be welcome here. To everyone standing here with us, know this, we're not alone. We're many, we're strong, and we will not back down. We will resist, we will fight, and we will be back. Thank you.
Thank you, the comrade from China Deviants. And the next one will be the Tibetan community in Britain. We're going to welcome our colleague from Tibetan community in Britain.
Hello. Brothers and sisters, friends and allies from the Tibetan, Hong Kong, Uyghur, and dissident communities, thank you. This year, on July 6th, His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama Gyalrong Rinpoche turns 90. His Holiness the Dalai Lama is not just a religious leader, he is the heart of our struggle, the embodiment of our identity, and the symbol of Tibet's unbreakable spirit. Next month marks 66 years since His Holiness was forced to flee Tibet. Ever since, China has waged a relentless war against the Dalai Lama's legacy. Tibetans are imprisoned, tortured, and even killed simply for having a photo of His Holiness or uttering his name in prayer. Now Beijing wants to interfere in the future of Tibetan Buddhism by trying to control the reincarnation of the next Dalai Lama. The CCP wants to handpick a puppet, a so-called Dalai Lama, who will serve their political agenda. But let me be clear, only Tibetans and our spiritual leaders can determine the Dalai Lama's successor, not the Communist Party of China. And while they attack our faith, China is also tightening its grip on Tibet with more repression than ever before. Over 1 million Tibetan children have been forced into colonial boarding schools, where they're cut off from their families, language, and Buddhist traditions. A systematic attempt to erase our people from within. Tibetan monasteries are under siege. Monks and nuns arrested, temples demolished, all in the name of new dam projects, money over people's lives. A new wave of mass surveillance makes Tibet one of the most restricted places on earth. AI-driven facial recognition and police checkpoints at every corner, ensuring that we cannot see the real reality and suffering of our brothers and sisters inside. Tibet's environment exploited. Massive hydropower dam projects being pushed ahead, again, without say from the people who will be affected. And now China wants to bring this oppression to London. This so-called super embassy is not about diplomacy. It's an outpost of authoritarian control. It will be used for surveillance, intimidation, and transnational repression against Tibetans, Uyghurs, Hong Kongers, and Chinese dissidents in exile. To the British government, we say this: will you stand with Tibetans who have found refuge in this country? Will you stand for religious freedom, human rights, and democracy? Or will you allow the CCP to expand its repression onto more British soil? This year, as Tibetans mark 90 years of Rinpoche's extraordinary life, we reaffirm our commitment to his vision, a Tibet that is free, where our culture, religion, and identity can thrive. No to China's super embassy. No to CCP regression. Long live His Holiness the Dalai Lama! Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Free Hong Kong! Free Hong Kong! Free Uzbekistan! Free Uzbekistan! Pergi Tangpo! Pergi Tangpo! Pergi Tangpo! Long live His Holiness the Dalai Lama! Thank you!
Okay, thank you, the group Tibet. Very energetic. And the next one will be our colleague from Freedom Card, Ukrainian activist. So we have Ukrainian today? Yes.
All together, we will win. 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 Down with CCP. 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 Good afternoon, my friends. I'd like to thank my friend Jay for inviting me here today and speak for our Ukrainian community. My name is Pavlo. I'm a representative of the Ukrainian community here in London. And Jay, he is the founder of Freedom Card, an organization that protects the rights of the people of Hong Kong. My friends, today the message is very simple. We must speak or else we will not be heard. We must act whilst we have the power to act. This building here, does it look like an embassy to you? No! It looks like a castle. It looks like a foothold. But the Chinese Communist Party will put its foot on the throat of the free people in this country, in this city, just like they have done it within China. We cannot allow that. Thank you. But my friends, I'd like to make a little comparison. I'm certain many of you have heard about what the North Korean regime does with its embassies all over the world. They trade drugs and they have counterfeit notes. They had an almost perfect copy of the American dollar and they spread it around. Now, the North Koreans, they're in perpetual need of money. The CCP doesn't need money. They have a lot of money. They're plenty eager to send that money all over the world to bribe people and to spread their influence and to make sure that that influence grows to the whole world. We cannot allow that. if the North Koreans were able to earn millions with their embassies. Just think about the damage that the CCP can do with this large building behind me. Just think about it. It will be like a leech sucking out the blood from the eye of London here in the center of this great city. I mean, what's next? Why didn't they just ask to occupy the Tower of London or the Buckingham Palace? Maybe they'll want half of London next. No, my friends, this is jokes. This is not a serious demand from the CCP. They cannot be allowed to have this building. They cannot be allowed to spread their influence. And above all, my friends, I'd like to send you a very important message. As the ancient saying goes, the swing of a butterfly's wings on one side of the planet can cause a hurricane on the other side. Nowadays, that saying holds true more than ever before. We live in a global world where all the different countries are interconnected. And the problem on the other side of the planet can hit us hard if we do not act to prevent it from doing as such. Nowadays, the world is split once again between the free world and the enslaved world. And we need to stand with those who resist the enslaved world. We need to stand with the people of Hong Kong. We need to stand with the Uyghurs. We need to stand with the Tibetans. We need to stand with Taiwan, which is the next target of the CCP. And we need to stand with every single country and every single people who resist them. Right now, there's a war in Ukraine. We all know about it. But what many people do not know is that if Ukraine is lost, then China will inevitably invade Taiwan. Some people may say, what's the connection? It's very simple, my friends. If Russia, that is becoming a proxy state to China nowadays, is allowed to get away with their crimes, think what the CCP, with all their power and influence worldwide, can do. They will immediately invade Taiwan if that is allowed to happen. So that is why we say no to this embassy. We say no to the CCP. And we say no to the enslaved world. All together, we will win. All together, we will win. All together, we will win. World, wake up! World, wake up! World, wake up! Thank you, my friends.
Thank you, our Ukrainian comrades, our Ukrainian colleagues. Thank you, thank you. Okay, and the next one is the Assembly of Citizens Representatives in Hong Kong.
Glory to Ukraine! Glory to Ukraine! Stop immediate Putin! Stop Putin! Glory to Ukraine! My friend, several of us who are former councillors now reside in UK. For reason I'm sure I don't need to explore further. But I remember, and we remember, when Hong Kong used to have, when we had certain degree of democracy, we as councillors, we were able to reject government proposal of different kinds. Once the council say no, the government has to follow. As simple as that. But of course, now democracy in Hong Kong is dead, long gone. Reason? Very simple, because CCP is controlling Hong Kong. Now we don't want CCP to control anything any further. including this very place we call UK. There was Hong Kong when we had democracy. And now it's one-party rule by CCP. Now this very place that the CCP proposed to build a mega embassy. Now it was turned down. It was turned down by local council. It was even turned down by the last government. It was turned down. But how come this government, the current government, say yes to it? How come? How can we tolerate such stupidity? Why Starmer, once he was in office, called Xi Jinping, called CCP, and the current Chancellor went to kowtow in Beijing to CCP. She kowtow to CCP. This is unbearable. We are angry, and we deserve to be angry. Now, if China, if CCP had their way, we don't want to elaborate. We know what would happen here. This very place, one of the many reasons it was rejected, because not just a historical monument or whatever. This is a communication hub. If China, CCP, had this place, they can espionage, they can threaten the very security, financial security, national security of Britain, of UK. That's why no way we can allow CCP to build their mega embassy here. I say, why? And I ask why Starmer would let it go ahead. Now, the Chancellor came back from China with an empty promise from China of what? 600 million pounds, but over 5 years. This is pathetic, this is nothing. Down with CCP. And shame to this current government. We say no CCP magazine now. No CCP mega embassy ever. Never. 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 A final warning to this government. We are the people. We are the water. The water that bears the boat is the same boat that will swallow. It's the same water that will swallow the boat. Got it? We are the people. We are the water. We will swallow this boat if this very place is going to turn into a mega embassy of CCP. No way. No way. 香港人加油！香港人如水，水能載舟，水能覆舟。香港人加油！
Okay, thank you. Thank you, our comrade from the Assembly of Citizens representatives in Hong Kong. And then later we will have the Bonham Tree Aid, and he's going to have made an important announcement for the volunteers. So please hear carefully.
唔好意思，用廣東話講。啱啱警察咧喺嗰度拉咗2個手足，所以可唔可以多啲 香港人去嗰邊，去俾少少群眾壓力，佢哋唔好俾佢哋拉咗我哋嘅手足先。我而家警車走咗。警車走咗。走咗啦，走咗，警車走咗啦，冇嘢啊。拉唔到，冇拉到。拉唔到啊，拉唔到。好啦，咁冇啦，拉唔到啦。OK，冇事啦 ，OK。冇拉到，唔係拉咗，唔係拉咗開講。拉入，冇拉到。一個又話唔會嘅，拉咗嘅，如果拉咗開走就大鑊，即係已拍咗啦，開出馬路，都冇聽到。而家有咩賣 ？Thank you for everyone coming。香港人加油！光復香港！光復香港！香港獨立！香港獨立！Fight for freedom! Fight for freedom! Free Hong Kong! Free Tibet! Free East Pakistan! Free Taiwan! Free China! Good afternoon, everyone. Free Burma! Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Thomas. I'm here today representing Bonham Tree A. Since 2019, over 1,900 political prisoners have been unjustly jailed in Hong Kong. We stand with them, providing monthly financial support to more than 300 of them. All those brave individuals on a monthly basis throughout their imprisonment terms. They are the victims of the regime that crush their own people and disregard basic human rights. Many of them are British national overseas as well. The UK government likes to talk about its foreign policy, the three C's: complete, challenge, and cooperate. But what we can see is not competition, not challenge, but compromise. Compromise with a regime that has well-documented history of breaking promise and international treaties. The very fact that so many Hong Kongers are now in the UK thanks to the BNO visa scheme is a very big evidence that they broke the promise. 41 years ago, in 1984, the UK and China signed the Sino-British Joint Declaration without the consent of Hong Kongers. 28 years ago, in 1997, Hong Kongers were handed back to the dictatorship. And now, in 2024, the UK government seems willing to sell out its principle again for a few pieces of silver. Following the state visit to China by the Foreign Secretary and Chancellor, we heard whisper of 1 billion trade deal, a deal made at what cost? While our governments bow to the CCP for some financial gains, they have done next to nothing to help the British national overseas to retrieve their hard-earned MPF pension. Over 3 billion pounds illegally held by the Hong Kong government. And let's not forget the attempts to bypass the democratic process and interfere with the local council and police decision regarding this very embassy. The UK is a signatory to the Sino-British Joint Declaration. Instead of holding the CCP accountable for violating that treaty, by sanctioning the officials and judges who are destroying the Hong Kong's freedoms, our government is once again engaging with the devil responsible. This is not just a betrayal of Hong Kong, it is a betrayal of our own value. We sincerely hope the UK government will finally put its people first. Stop pleasing the foreign superpower for fragile agreements built on broken promise. We demand that our government prioritize your own people, human rights, democracy, and freedoms. First thing first, to end this ridiculous intervention of CCP super embassy planning application. Thank you. Free Hong Kong! Free Taiwan! Free East Pakistan! Free Uyghur! Thank you. Free Burma!
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks our comrade from Bonham Tree Aid. And next one will be the colleague from CFHK. HK Foundation.
No CCP!
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 I'm Chloe Chen from the Committee for Freedom in Hong Kong Foundation, and I'm one of the 19 activists wanted by the Hong Kong authorities. Thank you everyone for being here today. Thank you! Why am I here today? Because as an activist with a bounty, I am terrified and I'm angry. This mega embassy is a threat. This is not just a building, it is an expansion of the Chinese Communist Party power in the UK soil. The current embassy is already a base for surveillance, espionage, and intimidation. Now they want more space, more spies, more repression. This is a direct attack on all of us. Hong Kongers, Uyghur, Taiwanese, Tibetans, and Chinese dissidents will not be safe. We know how the CCP operates. They harass us, they follow us, they silence us, and this will only get worse. This is about control, fear, and silencing voices right here in the UK. Remember what happened in Manchester? A Hong Kong protester was dragged into Chinese consulate and beaten. It happened in broad daylight on British soil. The attackers walked away free. There were no real consequences. But that was just a small consulate. Now, imagine a mega embassy with even more personnel enjoying diplomatic protection. What will they do next? Who will they target? And will we be safe?
No!
Under Hong Kong national security law, fewer and fewer people could risk to fight for freedom in our homeland. This is why we, the overseas diaspora, have the obligation and responsibility to speak up for Hong Kongers who can't speak up for themselves. But if this mega embassy is built, Beijing's network of spies will expand even further. They will have more resources to track us down. Many of us will live in constant fear, too afraid to speak, too afraid to live freely, because the CCP reach shows no borders. They intimidate us into silence. That is what they do, and that is what they have always done. We must resist. 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 We only have one demand today. No mega Chinese embassy. 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 Thank you.
Thank you.
No Chinese embassy!
No Chinese embassy!
Okay, thanks our comrade from CFHK Foundation. And the next one will be the Hong Kongers in Britain.
Thank you. 非常之感動。過去幾年，我哋喺前線，我哋見到越嚟越少嘅人出現。但係今日關鍵嘅時刻，我哋集會嘅人數，我相信係破千嘅。俾啲掌聲大家。記得2019，初心不忘，大家加油！另一件事，呢度嘅警方唔應該充當中國嘅警察，向我哋嘅手足進行逮捕。I have to say, the UK police here, no arrest for freedom, no arrest, chance with me, for freedom,
No arrest for freedom! No arrest for freedom! No arrest for freedom! No arrest for freedom! You are not Chinese police. We are here to stand against the authoritarian regimes to gain a more decent foothold here. We defend our UK democracy. We're not here to make a trouble. So there's no legal ground for you to say we can keep people in order, to tell to the UK government to pay the red carpet to the authoritarian official of Beijing to move into this monument, to this glorified monument. Dictatorship, autocracy deserve no glorified monument on the British soil. Remember your job, your duty. The UK police serve the people, defend democracy. Ladies and gentlemen, we are gathered here today because democracy, transparency, and the UK national security are at stake. The proposed relocation of the Chinese embassy to Tower Hamlets is not just a planning issue. It is a test of whether our government will stand firm on principle or surrender to the political convenience. For years, this plan had faced rightful scrutiny. In 2022, our local council, cross-party, rejected it. But rather respecting that decision, the Chinese authority have simply resubmit the same proposal, bypassing our local democracy and seeking approval from the UK government through the back door. Even more concerning, Chinese state enterprise in the UK have been mobilized to manufacture support, drowning out the voices of our local residents here. What changed? Not the security concerns, not the integrity risk, only the political landscape. Under the Boris Johnson's Conservative government, this property was quietly brokered to Chinese authorities. But it was not until the new Labour government took power after a top-level call with Xi Jinping that we saw direct intervention. Letters giving the green light to the planning inspectorate were issued before the public inquiry even began. And now, the Metropolitan Police, once firmly opposed, has made a quiet U-turn. Had this become a political decision? Has this become a political decision overriding an impartial security assessment? This is not our party politics. Both Conservative and Labour governments have shown a pattern of backtracking, raising serious questions. Are our leaders colluding with authoritarian regimes for short-term gain? Are they willing to trade our democratic values for diplomatic convenience? Xi Jinping's call must not dictate our British future. The proposed embassy is not just a diplomatic site. It is a statement of abusive power over human rights. A glorified monument for the CCP diplomats rather than just a functional space. Diplomatic premises are for mutual respect, not excessive grandeur. Look at the building like a castle.
like a palace. What ridiculous overseeing the monarchy, the symbol of the monarchy, the Tower of London, right next to the City of London, colluding with the capitals, influencing our democracy here. These unelected CCP officials monopolize what is the state, but suppress the people's will. Next week, I will attend the Lunar New Year reception at number 10 Downing Street again. If I have the chance to meet the new Prime Minister, I will raise this issue directly, confronting him. Then, on Tuesday, I will stand before the Plenary in the Inspectorate to present the case against this deeply flawed and dangerous plan. We must not allow our leaders to turn a blind eye. We must not allow authoritarian influence to creep into our democracy. And we must hold every our government, past, present, and future, accountable. Thank you. For freedom, no arrest. For freedom, no arrest. For freedom, no arrest. Thank you.
Thank you. For freedom, no arrest. Thank you. Thanks, our comrade from Hong Kongers in Britain. And the next one will be the Hong Kong Democracy Council.
光復香港，光復香港 ，Slava Ukraine， Slava Ukraine， Bangalore， Bangalore。Good afternoon, salam, tasdee， 大家好，我係劉嘉文。Thank you for being here today with us. We are gathering here in the heart of London, outside of the Royal Mint Court, to send a really clear message. We do not allow the United Kingdom to roll out the red carpet for the Beijing's long-arm control. This super embassy is not just another diplomatic outpost. It is a symbol of the CCP's growing influence and its attempt to suppress dissidents beyond its border. We know their track record. I have, and we all have experienced this repression, not only back in our homeland, but also now on the British soil. Intimidation, surveillance, attack, and bounty hands on us. This embassy will only embolden these efforts. Just 6 weeks ago, the Hong Kong government imposed $1 million Hong Kong bounty on my head. This is not a threat to me, but this is an alert for Hong Kongers in the UK. We should not back down. And we will not back down. We are here to say no. We are here to say no to Beijing's creeping influence. No to a forest government dedicating terms in a democracy. No to a site that could become a mega hub of transnational repression. The Labour government should stop appeasing the CCP, should stop appeasing the Chinese government, and reject this plan of the super embassy. To my dearest friends from across movements, from the Uyghurs movement, from the Tibet movement, from the Ukraine movement, from Taiwanese community, from Chinese dissidents, and all who stands against dictatorship. We are here in London, in exile, but we shall not be silenced. No CCP super China
One from Hong Kong. Free Tibet. Stop the Uyghur genocide. Save Myanmar. Slava Ukraine. Stand with Taiwan. On behalf of Hong Kong Watch, it's a privilege to join so many people here today, thousands of people gathered. And I want to start by saluting all of you, by applauding you and by thanking you for your courage in coming out in such large numbers from across the country to say no to this spy center, to say no to this mega embassy. It is clear from everyone gathered here today, from all the speeches we've already heard, and from so many other people, that nobody wants the Chinese Communist Party to be in this historic building. Only one group of people want the CCP to be in this building, and that is the CCP. And that is why we must say no to them. I don't believe, even in their hearts of hearts, that the British government actually wants this. But we need to force them to find the courage in themselves to say no and to stop kowtowing to Beijing. The residents of Tower Hamlets do not want the CCP on their doorstep. The residents of Royal Mint Court certainly don't want the CCP in their homes or in their internet connections. Tower Hamlets Council 2 times unanimously said no to the CCP. And whatever they may be saying now, we know that their votes 2 times were unanimous. The intelligence agencies said no. They told the government clearly that their advice was against this. And the Met, and I want to thank the Met for making today possible, but the Met Police said no. And for some reason they appear to have changed their mind, but I hope that they will see by our presence in such large numbers in this trajectory of major junctions that their original advice, their original reason for saying no should still stand, because it's still valid, and we proved it today. And it's clear from all of us here today that Hong Kongers don't want it, that Uyghurs don't want it, that Tibetans don't want it, that, as Tom Tugendhat so rightly said earlier on, mainland Chinese dissidents who, like Hong Kongers and Uyghurs and Tibetans, have come to this country because they want freedom here and they want to feel safe here. They don't want it. Taiwanese don't want it. Ukrainians don't want it. And my friends from Myanmar, because as well as Hong Kong and the Uyghurs and Tibet, I've spent most of my adult life also campaigning through Myanmar, and they've been clear they don't want this because the CCP is funding the military regime in Myanmar that is bombing and killing thousands of people across that beautiful country. So all of us are saying no. And I hope that we will go from this place not thinking that our job is done. I think we can applaud everybody here for being here today, but today is just the beginning. We must, as the politician said earlier, we must continue the fight until we win. We must write to our MPs, we must write to Angela Rayner, we must write to the Prime Minister, and we must build up such momentum across this country that says we do not want a nest of spies in a beautiful historic building so close to the iconic Tower of London and Tower Bridge, on this major intersection, on a concourse between our financial centre in the City of London and financial centre in Canary Wharf across the river, and who knows what cables are going under the ground here that the CCP would be able to tap into if they were in this building. All of you from diaspora communities that came to this country came here because we are a country of freedom, and because we are a country where you are welcome and you deserve to feel safe in exercising your freedoms here. But we saw a couple of years ago what happened in the Chinese consulate in Manchester. And although in the current Chinese embassy there is less space outside because it goes straight onto the pavement, this situation is not dissimilar to the Chinese consulate in Manchester, and it's not hard to imagine the thugs in the embassy here, if it's here, behaving out against the CCP. This proposed mega embassy and super spy center is in nobody's interest except Beijing. It's against our national interest, it threatens our national security, it threatens people here who deserve to feel safe, and it threatens our values and our freedoms. And so until we put it to an end, we must go on fighting to stop this mega embassy and say no to Beijing. Thank you.
Say no to Beijing! Say no to Beijing! Okay, thanks, our colleague from Hong Kong Watch. And the next one will be Reading UK Stand with Hong Kong.
大家好，我係吳兆康，我係香港嘅前區議員，亦都係而家英國嘅地區議會議員。我哋見到今日逼爆晒條馬路，點解英國警方仲會話呢度冇嘢啊？我見到我嚟咗英國咁耐，我嚟到今日嚟到呢度，我非常之感動。我見翻我哋香港人團結一致，為咗公義，一錯美麗嘅風景線。我哋要英國嘅警方收翻話，竟然話呢度係足夠容納香港人嘅示威者。大家覺得呢度夠唔夠地方啊？唔夠。我係希望下個禮拜嘅聽證會睇下有咩方法可以影響到佢哋。但係我係記得，我而家此時此刻，我哋仲有好多香港嘅手足，好多香港嘅人落難喺香港監獄，包括好多同事。我哋反對英國政府向中國政府示好，為咗生意利益而犧牲自由、民主、公義呢啲價值，亦都係英國人嘅核心價值。我哋都唔想呢座嘢有外交特權，可能變成一個肆意妄為嘅中心。咁我哋可以點樣呢？喺民主國家，我話俾大家知道，得民意者得天下。我哋應該用盡我哋每一個人嘅方法去講盡香港。我哋可以同同事講，同鄰居講。我吳兆康咧喺度做區議員，喺度洗樓嘅時候咧，我喺度拍門，啲人係會講香港民主自由呢啲事嘅。因為我哋雖然膚色唔同，我哋口音唔同，我哋來自嘅地方唔同，但係我同英國人有一個共同點，就係我哋一樣非常着緊民主、人權、自由。我哋亦都好高興，我哋有而家我有曼徹斯特啦，由曼徹斯特去到倫敦，由 Bristol 去到雷丁，我哋好多香港人組織，呢啲組織我哋一齊去繼續加油。我吳兆康亦都會搏晒命喺我自己，我係自由民主黨，我喺個黨裏邊，我搏晒命去發聲，見到人我哋就會講香港。大家選咗我做議員之後，我喺黨內係更加大嘅聲音可以發出。我希望我哋個黨同今日喺個領事館立場上同香港人係一致嘅，我哋係反對呢個超級領事館，亦都會繼續去反映民意。我哋好多謝大家，希望喺未來無論喺國會，抑或我哋喺政府度抗議，喺國會抗議，或者中國外交部部長王毅嚟嘅時候，我哋招呼佢，希望多啲英國人、多啲香港人幫手，令到多啲英國媒體去關注。無論喺街頭、喺電視、online、offline、屋企前嘅草地、飯台、地區議會、國會，希望英國人都記得民主、人權、自由呢啲核心價值，亦都係英國傳統真實嘅價值。一點燭光雖少，但當萬支燭光聚合埋一齊，我哋就係熱火，就能夠發光發亮。Let me say something in English. I'm a Hong Kong former district councillor, and I'm also a UK local councillor currently. And even when we speak, still have many people, including my colleagues, was jailed in the Hong Kong prison. And the British shouldn't favor someone while someone is playing, lying, humiliating, harming to us. The government shouldn't just know how to do business with China, but forget democracy, freedom, and human rights, which is also a basic British value. No matter what the color of your skin, no matter where you come from, no matter what kind of language you speak, democracy need to unite it. If democracy united, we are strong. We will win. Win over Putin in Ukraine. Win over Xi Jinping in Beijing. And the Hong Kong people will do whatever we can, from Reading to Manchester, from Bristol to London, and to make our voice be heard. Our voice will be heard on the street. Our voice will be heard on the line. Our voice will be heard in the parliament. Democracy will never surrender. Fight for freedom. Stand with Hong Kong. Go for Hong Kong. 時代革命。多謝大家。
Okay. Thanks, our colleague from Reading. Yeah. And then we have a quick announcement. Please, can there be some volunteers come into the stage and we start to wrap up our protest today? So maybe we need some volunteers here to support us to wrap up the protest, okay? Thank you. And now, no mega embassy! 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 Take down the CCP! 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 Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Free Kyrgyzstan! Free Kyrgyzstan! Free Uyghurs! Free Uyghurs! Free Taiwan! Free Taiwan! Free Hong Kong! Free Hong Kong! Free China! Free China! Take down the CCP! 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 China lies! China lies! China lies! China is a liar! 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 No mega embassy! 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 China lies! China lies! China lies! China lies! China lies! China lies! One, we are the people. Two, we won't be silent. Three, resist the CCP now, 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 now. One, two, three. One, two, three. No mega embassy! No mega embassy! No mega embassy! No mega embassy!
大家好，唔好意思啊，啱啱喺後邊咧睇咗一輪咧，因為而家警察咧，佢哋就將一個馬路咧就開翻啦咁樣，咁所以咧，我用廣東話講啦，大家同身邊嘅朋友咧就用英文講，我哋費事啲警察聽到啊，咁樣咧，大家真係如果有少少時間咧，冇咁快走嘅話咧，可唔可以同我哋做一樣我哋2019年已經做過嘅嘢？可唔可以同我哋一齊過馬路啊？我哋圍住呢一個十字路口過馬路 ，OK 嗎
Okay? No CCP embassy! No CCP embassy! No CCP embassy!
No CCP embassy!
No CCP
China lies! China lies! China lies! China lies! Take down the CCP! Take down the CCP!
不要核酸要吃饭，不要文革要改革，不要风控要自由，不要领袖要选票，不要谎言要尊严，不做奴才做公民。宣仪。
Take down the CCP! Take down the CCP! Free Taiwan! Free Hong Kong! Free Tibet! Free Uyghurs! Stop Uyghur genocide! Free Tibet! Free Hong Kong! Free Uyghurs! Free Turkestan! Fight for freedom! Stand with Hong Kong! Fight for freedom! Stand with Hong Kong! Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Free Hong Kong! Free Hong Kong! Free Southern Mongolia! Free Southern Mongolia! Free East Pakistan! Free East Pakistan! Tibet belongs to! Tibet belongs to! Tibet belongs to! Peggy Dongpo! Peggy Dongpo! China, China, China! China, China, China! Down, down! Down, down! Save Myanmar! Save Myanmar! Stand with Taiwan! Stand with Taiwan! No mega embassy! No mega embassy! Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Peggy Dongpo! Peggy Dongpo! Tibet belongs to! Tibet belongs to! Stop the Uyghur genocide now! Stop the Uyghur genocide now! China spies, China lies, people die! China spies, China lies, people die! Free Hong Kong! Free Hong Kong! Free Hong Kong! Free Hong Kong! Free East Pakistan! Free East Pakistan! Free Southern Mongolia! Free Southern Mongolia! Stand with Taiwan! Stand with Taiwan! Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Peggy Peggy Dongpo! Peggy Dongpo! Down, down! Down, down! Down, down!
你影咗啦，直播係嘛？係咪直播？
Stop Uyghur genocide! Stop Uyghur genocide!
So this is the end of our rally. Thank you all for attending. We are showing our case to the Labour government that we should not allow the Beijing government to establish such a mega embassy. 多謝大家，我哋今日呢個集會完結，正式完結。
少人啊！
you're passing through the road, be careful. But remember, if this issue's going, if the UK government lets the Chinese Communist Party to move it here, we will be back every day. We will gather here every day. Every day. Every day. Every day. Police, we're cooperating with you, but remember, we will gather here every day.
Okay, everyone, it's the end of the protest. Please get home safe, and we are going to end this on time. So please get home safe, and then someone will guide you to the Tower Hill building. Please find our volunteers if you have any questions, okay? And this is the end of our protest. Be careful, be careful. Get home safe.
Passing through the road, make sure you're safe. Passing through the road, make sure you're safe.
上一過馬路嘅時候，小心安全，多謝各位。真警察嘅意見，多謝各位。跌咗銀仔記得執啊！
Thank you all for showing your support, and please get home safe. And if you have any questions, please find our volunteers in the high vis vest. Thank you everybody for coming. And we are going to
慢慢過馬路啊！
慢慢行，斜住行。大家小心啊！大家小心交通啊！
Watch the road.